The camera fades in, and we see a shot of an office in a military base. It's plain. There's a basic desk with a chair and a computer. There's some chairs in front of it. The walls are mostly barren, save for a few what look like stock photographs and a couple of diplomas hanging up behind the desk. Sitting at the desk is a short woman with pale, somewhat freckled skin and light brown hair, which is tied back in a bun. She's wearing a dark blue button-down and a pair of black trousers, and she has a pair of glasses that she keeps pushing up as they slide down her nose. And as we fade in, she seems to be on the phone with someone. Yes, Colonel. I fully understand. I understand. Yes. My apologies, Colonel. I can't... Look, Colonel, I understand that you have a very specific role in this cadre, but so do I. And I need you to understand that I can only... Of course, Colonel. Yes, Colonel. I'll have the report. Yes, Colonel. Right away. Thank you. You too, Colonel. She sets down the phone, and we see a title card appear at the bottom of the screen. November 22nd, 2234. Subject, Blondie. And I think this is right about when you, Blondie, have walked into her office. You were asked to come here. This is not a surprise. You were expected. You're a woman with pale skin and piercing blue eyes and long, flowing blonde hair. Blondie, why don't you tell us what you're wearing right now?
Blondie is wearing a red V-neck sweater where the V is just low enough to show a hint of cleavage. She is wearing tight black pants, and she's wearing modest pumps that still make her legs look good.
As you're walking in, you know this woman sitting behind the desk. This is Dr. Emmaline Klein. She is a psychiatrist that works with the 92nd Cadre. This is not the first time you've spoken to her, nor the second. In fact, you've probably spoken to her dozens of times over the last year or so. Your role as the face of the cadre requires that you be at the top of your game mentally. So you're regularly scheduled these appointments to go speak to the psychiatrist and make sure everything's okay. As you're walking in, Dr. Klein looks up and she smiles at you. There's a weariness to it, but she looks happy to see you. Oh, Blondie, yes, please, come in, have a seat. My apologies, I was just on the phone with the colonel and, well, you know how it is. It's always something. She smiles and motions to the chair in front of the desk.
Blondie gives her winning smile and comfortably takes the chair offered to her. Hello, Emma. Always wonderful to see you. It seems you're having a bit of a busy week.
Oh, always. It's near the end of the year. Always something to do, more reports to write. The colonel's demanding, so yeah. She leans back in the chair and puts her hands behind her head. Well, all right. I'm sorry. We shouldn't be interrupted again. You're scheduled for regular check-in? I'm going to ask you a few questions. You know the drill. You've done this before.
Absolutely. I'm ready whenever you are.
She reaches out and picks up a recorder from her desk, a small audio recorder. And she clicks a button on the side and sets it down between the two of you on the desk. For the purposes of the recording, my name is Dr. Emmaline Klein, a psychiatrist assigned to the 92nd Pilot Cadre of the Foundation. I'm here with Pilot Blondie for a routine psychiatric and screening evaluation. Now, the purposes of this interview are just a routine check-in, primarily associated with your public relations duties. I'm going to ask you a series of baseline questions, and then we can get started. Could you please confirm your name and your current designation?
Hello, I'm Blondie, and I'm a pilot.
Thank you. And can you please confirm your current unit assignment?
I'm part of the 92nd Cadre.
And finally, can you please confirm that you've consented to be here of your own free will?
Absolutely.
Thank you. You say all this, and Dr. Klein nods and smiles at you. Thank you, Blondie. I appreciate it. Now, I'm just going to talk to you a little bit and ask you some questions related to your public relations duties. You know, the usual. So, in the last month, how many different PR missions have you been sent out on?
Oh, this month alone? 8, actually.
Excellent, thank you. And were any of them unusual in any way or particularly stressful?
Uh, I'm afraid my PR is not that interesting. It's just the same old, same old. I did my photo shoots, went to fan events, promotional duties, just nothing new to speak of.
She nods at you and smiles. Right, of course. Now, do you have any complaints about any of the individuals that you've interacted with over the course of your last month's public relations duties? Anything you'd like to report to the Foundation formally?
Blondie has her hands under her legs in the seat, and the doctor can't see this, but Blondie's hands fist in the seat cushion. Oh, no, I have nothing to complain of. Everything has been so wonderful, and everyone has been really a treat to work with.
As you're saying this, Dr. Klein narrows her eyes slightly, as if she senses that you're maybe not telling the whole truth, but she quickly recovers. Her eyes open wide again, and she nods and smiles at you. And then she continues. Right, thank you. Now, how have your relations been with your fellow cadre members over the last month? Have you been getting along with everyone?
Why, of course, we're part of a really good team. And, of course, there's going to be ups and downs with any team, but at the end of the day, we're all one unit and we're out there to save the world. So, yeah, we've all been working together really well. No complaints there.
Of course, thank you. And over the course of the last month, when engaging in your standard duties as a pilot, have you experienced anything notable or unusual?
You know, I'm so sorry. I always ask you to clarify a bit more. Like, what would unusual mean?
Well, I understand that you pilots deal with the Gorgons, and I suppose everything about them is a little bit unusual, but would you say that there's been anything that happened that feels like it falls outside of your typical expectations, either for the Gorgons or your frame, yourself, anything that stood out to you in the last month?
Blondie's hands grip the seat cushion tighter, her knuckles going white. Well, like you said, our job has us deal with all kinds of crazy creatures, and I guess there's really no usual day, you know? Like sometimes nothing will happen and we'll just be at the base training and working on teamwork, and other times it'll be a whole day of fighting monsters that you never know what they're gonna look like or power-wise. But based on that, you know, you expect the unexpected. And I have to say there hasn't been any unexpectedness that's struck me as particularly odd.
Once again, the doctor narrows her eyes, and this time she reaches out on her desk and she takes a notebook. She opens it to a page where you can see that there's some writing on the top of it already. It's written in a handwriting that's difficult to read under ideal circumstances. I don't think you can make it out. But the doctor starts writing something, and her handwriting is messy as well, but it looks distinctly different from what was written at the top of the page. She writes for a few seconds, then she taps the page with the pencil and looks up at you, and once again her expression has returned to normal and she's smiling at you. Thank you, Blondie. I appreciate your honesty. Now, another question, and this may sound a little strange, but please just bear with me. In the last month, have you had any trouble sleeping? Have you had any issues with insomnia, perhaps unusual nightmares, anything like that?
Are you saying I have dark circles, Doctor?
Oh no. You see a little flush of red on her face, and she reaches up and brushes a stray hair from the side of her glasses. No, nothing like that. It's just the standard question. I've been asked to ask everyone the same thing, if you don't mind.
Oh, I don't mind at all. Sorry, I can't help but tease a little bit sometimes, you know?
Of course.
Sleep-wise? Normal. I can't recall any bad nights or any unusual dreams or anything like that. I've been sleeping well.
She nods, and she writes something in the paper, and I think for a moment, you see a flash of something on her face that it looks like the smile, the cheerful expression she has drops away for the briefest second, and then it's back again. And she nods. And lastly, for this part of the evaluation, do you have any specific comments about your commanding officers, either Major Atali or Colonel Williams? Any notes? Anything you've noticed about their behavior? Anything you'd like to share? Keeping in mind that this is strictly confidential, there's no chance that it will work its way back to them if you have complaints.
Blondie pauses for a moment, biting her tongue, but she keeps the smile on her face. 'Cause Blondie knows that that's a lie. Oh, sorry, I had to take a moment to think about that, because honestly, I know this sounds like a cop-out of an answer, but I don't have any notes. I think they're doing their duties really well, and you can see by our performance that we're a really well-performing team.
Yes, of course. We have no complaints. She looks at you, and again, for a brief second, the friendliness, the affability on her expression is gone, and you see cold analysis shining through, and then it's gone, as if she blinked, and she's looking at you with a warm expression again. She writes something in the notebook, underlines it, taps the pencil at the end for emphasis, and then she turns the page in the notebook, and from the back of the notebook, she takes out two items. She takes out a folded sheet of paper and a little envelope, a little bit smaller than the notebook itself, and she sets them down in front of her. And again, she smiles at you. All right, Blondie, now, you know it's that time again. We've got to do the Xiang-Baker. She smiles at you. The Xiang-Baker verbal assessment metric is something that you're very familiar with at this point. It is a series of questions designed to elicit responses from you. Usually consists of some word association, some very simple prompt questions, and usually you're asked to look at some pictures or photographs and tell the evaluator what it brings to mind. You've done this before. You've done it many, many times. And you know that it's always a little bit different. The Foundation likes to change things up, the questions sometimes in different orders, sometimes different formats. And I think you're pretty comfortable with this. So she takes the packet and she unfolds the paper and she starts reading this, what feels like a very prepared speech, clearly for the benefit of the recording. I'm going to be conducting the Xiang-Baker verbal assessment metric. This is designed to assess your readiness as a pilot through a combination of word associations, prompt response questions, and visual associations. I'm going to be giving you a series of questions. I want you to respond with something that comes to mind immediately. Please don't overthink your responses. Please be honest and sincere with me, but don't overthink your responses to the questions.
As always, I will try my best.
Of course. I mean, you just have to answer the questions. There's no failing this. This isn't a test. You are just giving us information to help evaluate you as a pilot and ensure that you're performing your absolute best. She unfolds the paper and smooths it out in front of her. The first section will be a word association. I'm going to read you a series of 20 words, and I want you to just tell me the first thing that comes to mind when you hear them. Again, please don't overthink this. Just answer honestly and quickly. We'll begin now. Foundation.
Structure.
Federation.
The government.
Handler.
Commander.
Frame.
Machine.
Pilot.
Myself.
Cadre.
My team.
Invasion.
The monsters.
Father.
My father.
Mother.
My mother.
Foundation.
Structure.
Thank you. She scribbles a few notes in the page, underlines a couple things, makes a couple bullet points, and then she continues. Sister.
My little sister.
Brother.
Nothing.
Gorgon.
Monster.
Rebellion.
Bad.
Womb.
Missing.
Sex.
Awesome.
Blood.
Bad.
Power.
Wanted.
Rape.
Terrible.
Foundation.
Structure.
Thank you. As you finish, she writes a few more notes. Once again, you get that sense that she's analyzing you very closely, and then it falls away again. And she's smiling again. Thank you, Blondie. As always, very direct. For the next series of questions, I'm going to ask you a short prompt, and I want you to once again answer honestly, directly, and without thinking too much about it. These don't have to be overly long responses. Have you been questioning your identity?
No, not recently. I know very well who I am.
As you say that, you notice that she squints at you and makes a note. Have you experienced any moments of unexplained dissociation?
None that I can think of. No, I've always been very well-minded.
Do you have a clear understanding of your role within the Foundation?
Well, I should hope so. I've been doing this for quite a long time now.
She smiles at that, and she writes a couple of quick notes. Have you been experiencing any phantom sensations, such as the feeling of fingers on your neck?
Blondie blinks for a moment at that. Well, that's a weird one.
Please, just...
No.
Thank you. Yes, I'm sorry. The questions are developed by various teams for various reasons. Don't worry too much about them. She looks at you closely and writes a couple more notes.
Blondie feels the sensation to want to touch her neck after that question, but she makes her hand go under her leg to keep herself from doing that.
All right, we're almost done. Just a couple more, and then you can go about your business. At this point, Dr. Klein picks up this packet of something, and she taps it out in front of her. There's a series of what look like photographs or pictures, and she picks up the stack. She taps it in front of her, straightens it out, and then she looks up at you again. Finally, I'm going to show you a series of images. Please, once again, just tell me the first thing that comes to mind. You don't have to explain yourself or go on for too long. Just first thing that comes to mind, answer honestly. She shows you the first picture. It's an abstract image of a red splatter. It looks a lot like a blood stain.
That looks like a murder.
Blondie, I think you hesitated for a minute before answering that. And I think Dr. Klein noticed that. You notice that she writes something in the notebook quickly before turning to the next image. She shows you the next picture. It's an image of a fox tearing into some creature, some shadowy thing that you can't quite identify.
That looks like a predator.
She nods, And she shows you the next image. This is an image of a pale woman with dark hair pulled back into a bun and a pair of round glasses. She has blue eyes and slight mousy features, and there's a distance to her expression. You recognize this woman. This is your handler, Colonel Williams.
That looks like one of our team members. That looks like the commander.
Once again, I think you hesitated, and Dr. Klein noticed. She narrows her eyes ever so slightly, and once again she writes some notes in the notebook and nods and shows you the next picture. The next picture is a photograph. It's a photograph of a decaying bird carcass. There are maggots crawling all over it.
Ew.
She nods, and she switches the photograph to the next one. This is another photograph. It's the image of a gorgon. It's shot from a distance, and it shows a gorgon rising up above a city that's on fire.
That's a monster attacking a city.
She nods and sets the photo down and writes a couple of quick notes. And then finally, she turns over the last picture. This is another photograph. This one is a photograph of your frame, the Lucerne, standing in the frame bay, its armor gleaming, its gold and yellow accents highlighting its silhouette.
And that one's my frame, looking as radiant as ever.
She smiles at you. She takes the photographs and the pictures, and she once again taps them together and then slides them back into the envelope, closes it, folds the piece of paper with the questions, and sticks everything in the back of her notebook. And she smiles. And this time when she smiles, it stops right before her eyes. Thank you, Blondie. You've been a pleasure as always. Do you have any questions for me before you go?
Blondie thinks for a moment. No, none that I can think of. Thank you for your time, as always. I know these are really important to do, and I know that, we're not exactly an easy crowd to evaluate all the time. So, as always, thank you for your time.
She nods at you. She smiles. Once again, doesn't reach the eyes. Of course, Blondie. Like I said, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. Now, please, you may go about your business. And she gestures for you to leave the room, but doesn't stand up. And I think you get a flash of what feels like recognition in this moment. The way that she gestures, the way that she talks, it reminds you a lot of the Colonel. There's a coldness there. And then it's gone, and she's smiling. It looks warm now. I'm looking forward to talking to you again soon. As always, it was a pleasure.
Blondie has gotten used to keeping a smile on her face. She could do it in her sleep if she needed to. So even though she felt all that, she still keeps a big, winning smile on, as if nothing had happened. Of course! I'll see you again soon. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
And you turn to leave, and you don't see this, but the shot that we fade out on is Dr. Klein leaning back in her chair, smile vanished from her face, her expression cold as she flips through the notebook and frowns. And we fade to black.
Zero Angels is a new actual play podcast by Bad Rep Productions using the Girl Frame system, coming to the Bard Rock Network July 2026. Follow us at zeroangels.bardrockcafe.com on Blue Sky, or visit zeroangels.com for more information.